With GR2 3D street-level radar technology, your continued live, up-to-the-minute severe weather coverage for the Arkansas and Missouri Ozarks starts right now.
All right, everybody, welcome to Storm Track 360. I am your Storm Track analyst and specialist, Brandon Ruley, broadcasting live from our studio here in Harrison, Arkansas. We're going to go over a few things with this special coverage just to give you guys a heads up on what's going on. Obviously, when we put things out on our Facebook page, which is our primary posting area, we get a lot of private messages that come in, and a lot of people have my personal number, and my phone starts blowing up, and one of the big questions is what time this, what time that, what time, and I'm going to explain to you why we can't give you a time and kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on, what the Storm Prediction Center is thinking, and answer some questions, go over some of our new features, give you guys some updates, and kind of get you ready for possibly late tonight and especially tomorrow. So the first thing I want to show you guys, we're going to jump over here to our Storm Center radar, and you can see right now, looking on here, right here is Arkansas, and you see all these bright colors, especially like back in here. This is that storm fuel that's building. You can see it's man, it goes all the way back into the Gulf of whatever you want to call it, Mexico, the Gulf of the United States, the areas there west of Florida, there, whatever name you agree with to call that. So that is all that energy is rising up. It's all shifting here to the north and east. So this is the energy. This is that fuel. This is all that instability. This is all that nasty ingredients that's needed for severe weather. And we've definitely had our fair share of severe weather. And a lot of people are asking, like, what about the current storms? Well, you can see here, we do have a few little bitty storms here that's popped up. I can jump over here on our current radar. Let's see which radar I want to use here for you guys. So we have a special weather statement running right now for northwest Arkansas here. You can see this is kind of what they're keeping their eye on right now. And I've got the card up on that here. Let me just bring that up. That might make more sense. So here's the current special weather statement card. This is for northwest Arkansas. You can see on here right now, basically they're just calling for 30-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-size hail. Nothing of major concern. And we can jump over here to our GR3 radar to get a bigger look at what's going on. I'll zoom out here. And for those of you who are not very good at knowing where you're at, right here, I'm going to draw a square around Boone County. And obviously, Harrison's like right around here in this circle. Over here's Mountain Home. This is Bentonville, Rogers, and Fayetteville area over here where those special weather statements are. This is over here. This area is northeast Oklahoma. We just have some basic cells that are forming right now.
Special weather statement.
Like right now, Madison County. Let's see. Strong thunderstorm will impact southeastern Madison and northeastern Franklin counties through 2:30 p.m. at 1:48 p.m. And that was, let me clear this off and do this our normal way. I always zoom in on what I'm talking about. So this is going to be for this special weather statement here for parts of Madison County. Anyway, it's moving east at 35 miles per hour. Hazards include nickel-size hail. This is radar indicated. These are not severe, but this is feeding off a little bit of that energy that is going to be bringing us potentially some severe weather late this evening into the overnight hours and especially tomorrow. And that's really what I want to talk about. These storms here are not life-threatening storms. We are monitoring everything. You can see me here. I am here in the Weather Center. We got everything fired up. You can see Station 1 and 2 over here, where my co-hosts always sit. Those systems are up and going already. We have this studio ready to rock and roll. All we got to do is go live and start covering weather for you guys. But while we're not, just being hammered right now with severe weather, I want to cover a few things with you guys. And let me get that graphic up for you. And then we're going to go over a few other things. I know we've got a lot of newer people that have joined our Storm Track 360 family, and I just want to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for joining our Storm Track 360 family here. We cover 16 counties. Let me just go over that real quick. This is our area. So if you or someone appreciates the type of coverage we do, our detailed coverage is detailed because we only cover a small area, and that is the 4 counties there in southern Missouri and the 12 counties here in northwest and north central Arkansas. This is our focus. This is where we're at. And you may say, hey, Brandon, I don't understand. We like the way you do it. I get these messages every day. I get 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 emails and messages. Hey, add us from public and public safety across other areas. We don't have really good media coverage in our area. We've got the Springfield, Missouri stations. We've got the Little Rock, Arkansas stations, and they will not normally break in and do live coverage if it's just for northern Arkansas or extreme southern Missouri. They never have, and of course all of our radio stations have gone to AI. I know that because I used to work with them, and even now we're in works with KHOZ. The company owns KHOZ, and a lot of the Branson stations like My 100.1. We've been in talks with them about them putting our audio live on the air, which that reminds me, I forgot to put this live on the air. So there we are. We're live on the air on our radio system now. That is brand new, and I'm going to cover a lot of that for you guys here in just a few minutes, too, to kind of give you guys a heads up. And then I'm going to go over to your chat, and I'm going to start seeing if any of you guys have any information. So here we go. The first thing is I'm going to jump over to our first graphic here. Let me go ahead and bring that up. Let's see. I remember which one of these brings it up best. There it is. So this is for today. You can see right here is, and I've got a bad color there. That don't look good. Thought I had red. There it is. All right. So here's our coverage area basically. Northwest Arkansas, north central Arkansas, over to east or to Fulton and Izard County, and then Ozark and our counties up here above. We don't cover McDonald County. But anyway, this is the outlook for today for severe weather. The thinking is that we're just going to have a slight risk down to a marginal risk depending on which part of our coverage area you live in. Now, this will be for later on today, later on this afternoon, into the overnight hours. Now, what can we expect? So here's our tornado outlook. Right now, it's small. It's not way up there. It's a 2 to 5%, which any risk is a bad risk. But our chances for a tornado are a lot slimmer tonight than what they will be tomorrow, and we're going to cover all of that. So that green area that you see here, that is a 2 to 4% risk of a tornado during the late evening into the overnight hours here today. And then we'll switch over to our next graphic. This is our wind threat. You can see we got between a 5 and 29% chance of severe wind. Again, this is through tomorrow morning. And then we've got our hail risk. Now you can see, and the reason I wanted to go over some of this, you can kind of start seeing where some of that instability is coming towards us, already building off to our west. Got these higher probabilities of hail building up over here to the parts of Oklahoma and Kansas, and all of that is going to be tracking towards the east. That's what's going to be coming towards us for tomorrow. Now tomorrow, you can see now we've got that upgraded risk. We're in that enhanced risk. That's that orange area. And that orange area covers our entire coverage area. That's in our entire Storm Track 360 coverage area. We think there may be a chance they will upgrade this. We may go to a moderate or a high risk tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you what's going to make that happen or not here in just a moment also. So like I said, we've got a lot of information we're going to be going over. We're not on here to cover these little rainstorms, these little rain showers. This is to bring you guys up to speed, what's going on and what to expect, some tools we have, all the free things that you guys can use to keep up with the weather. And of course, I know a lot of people, I'll go back and look at the numbers later, and y'all just shut it off and walk away right now. You're like, oh, well, I ain't gonna mess with this because this will be late tonight or tomorrow. And then when we're live on the air late tonight or tomorrow, you're gonna be on here asking a lot of questions, and you're gonna be trying to get, you're gonna be basically asking the very things we're gonna cover right now, and I'm gonna have to ignore you because we may potentially have a life-threatening situation tomorrow, and I cannot backtrack, especially, and I'm not trying to say stupid questions, but I'm trying to cover all those questions right now so we don't get the stupid questions in the middle of a tornado on the ground tomorrow or late tonight. So if you guys will bear with me, you will walk away from this and have a really good idea of what to expect and what free tools are out there that you can share with your family and your friends and your kids and your neighbors on how to keep up with all of this. So let's just move on along here. Now this is where we start getting a little bit scary. We are in that hatched yellow area, and that covers almost our entire coverage area. And again, we think this may possibly be upgraded tomorrow based on what the weather does. And I'm going to cover that here shortly. What's going to make this upgrade or downgrade? And you may not be able to read this because if you're watching on your phone, but down here, that hatched risk area, that those little words down here, it says probability of significant tornadoes of EF2 to EF5 in those hatched areas. That's where the concern is, and we are talking dangerous, deadly, life-threatening, communities affected for years type tornadoes potentially could happen. And I'm going to go over what is going to increase those chances and what's going to decrease those chances here in just a few moments. So again, and then tomorrow, here's our severe wind threat. Again, that's kind of a moderate risk area, and that covers all of our Storm Track 360 area. And another really dangerous part about tomorrow is going to be that hail risk. 2 inches in diameter or larger. So we're looking at potentially some really, really large hail that potentially could be happening. So here is what's going to happen. Let me clear this off and let me pull up our models here. And you know, I question myself sometimes on even bringing up models because we have so many people. And I say this, models are a general ideal of what the learning computer system with the National Weather Service is kind of thinking based on past storms throughout all the many years. And don't take this literally. In other words, if it shows a storm on top of Boone County, that doesn't mean there's going to be a storm on top of Boone County at that time. That just means in this general area, it's giving us a general idea, a broad area. And when we say broad area, we mean our entire coverage area, including parts of eastern Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, southwest, south central Missouri. I mean, you know, we're talking, you know, when we're looking at these models here, and let me, when I say broad, so if a storm, that little red dot I just put on there, so let's say that's a little storm is showing on here, that means that anywhere within this area means that storm could form. It doesn't mean it's gonna form right on Boone County. It means literally that little dot could be anywhere in this area. So keep that in mind, and we'll go over all the ingredients and kind of what we're thinking. So let's go forward in time here, so you can see we start seeing some storms forming based on what the models are thinking. You can see that kind of start exploding across all of Kansas, parts of Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, and then they start popping there in Texas, all across central Arkansas. We're just bebopping along here. And then that's our first round potentially tonight into the early morning hours. Then we've got that next round potentially. And this right here, it may not look as concerning, but this is where I get concerned. See, these are what you call it's more discrete. There's not a lot of cell activity, so all the energy that's in the atmosphere, these storms have more fuel to feed off of. That is the more dangerous situation. That's the more dangerous type storms that we start having concerns about. So we keep moving forward in time, and then you see it kind of explodes again with a lot of storms. So we got two potential rounds. Okay, two potential rounds of these storms late tonight into the early morning hours, and again sometime tomorrow into the afternoon, late evening, depending on the front and how it tracks. So this is where I'm gonna try to talk to you guys and explain to you why we can't give you an exact time. Okay, now if a lot of storms form late this evening, like right now, these little storms that are out here, they're stabilizing the atmosphere. If these storms end up going away and all of this instability, and I'll bring up the storm center again so you can see all the pretty colors here. Let's see, where did it go? Hold on a second. So all of that energy right here that you're seeing on this radar screen, you can notice like how bright it is out here in Oklahoma. So if you look like way over here in the western part of your screen, there's no storms over there. There's nothing eating that, but you can see how you got these lighter grays and really no bright colors here in northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri, because these cells they're kind of eating that energy. So here's what's going to happen. If we get cells later this evening, okay, and into the overnight, then our risk of having deadly tornadoes and extremely large destructive hail and all of those, the things that discrete storms can form and throw at us, that will go down, okay, because it's going to eat that energy up. Now, if we don't get any storms, or we get just a little bit of storm activity tonight, then that means tomorrow all that instability is going to be there. It's all going to be there. It's going to be available for any of those storms that do form, that pop that cap, those little discrete storms, and then they explode, and then we start getting that strong rotation. We start getting that large hail and those straight line winds. Now, I can't tell you at 3 p.m. tomorrow in such and such a county, that's when the storms are going to hit, because we don't know. Our technology, and I get that all the time, people are asking what time. And I think that you guys get the ideal based off of these models, because, you get a lot of like the KY3s and all these other TV stations and these weather apps. They call that the Futurecast, and they make you, I think a lot of people get it in their mind that that's real. That's exactly what's going to happen. You got to understand that information updates every single hour based on what's going on in the atmosphere, where storms have or have not formed. So literally every hour that can change. That's why I always tell people, don't stay weather aware. Watch the weather. Watch what's going on. Obviously if we get a lot of precipitation and a lot of rain throughout the evening and overnight hours, then we won't have as much instability tomorrow. But if we just get a little bit of rain through tonight in the overnight hours, and then tomorrow afternoon we get the heating of the day and the sun comes out, and we have all this energy and all this storm ingredients, any of those storms that do form could be extremely life-threatening, deadly dangerous. I don't want to scare you guys, but we are in that target pattern tomorrow. That let's hope the cap is strong. Let's hope we get some random rain throughout the night and overnight hours, maybe a little bit of storminess tonight without the tornadoes and big hail. But that would be the greatest thing that could happen, because it's going to eat up a lot of that energy. If it doesn't, tomorrow we could literally see either a moderate or high risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center for us. And we're talking about the type of tornadoes that you really need a safe room in your basement, because the type of storms that could come through, when you're talking EF2 to EF5 tornadoes, it's going to remove your whole house. It's going to rip all the flooring off, and then it's going to expose your basement. Normally, smaller, weaker tornadoes, when they come along, and again, we're not trying to scare you. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I want to be real with you so you know what to expect. When you get into these EF3, EF4, EF5 type tornadoes, if they happen, and let's hope they don't. Let's hope it's a bust tomorrow. I pray it's a bust. But when you get up there, it's not only going to take your house away, but it's that flooring above your basement. The EF0 to EF2 tornadoes, they pretty much leave that flooring. So if you're in a basement, you're safe under there. I personally don't have a basement. I have an actual underground storm shelter here at the studio for all of us, because a very destructive, you're talking EF4, EF5 tornadoes. If you remember when it hit Joplin, it literally moved that hospital a little bit, a whole hospital. It picks up railroad cars and throws them. It rips asphalt up. This is very destructive. So when we say have a weather plan, go talk to your neighbors. Go talk to your, if you attend a church that has a basement, and let's be honest, if you have no actual underground shelter, a basement is your best scenario, but you really need to make sure that the basement's got one of those concrete wall areas that's actually like a safe room to protect you in case a tornado comes along and rips the whole house apart, starts ripping that flooring out and taking part of that foundation off the top. That's the type of tornadoes potentially we could have tomorrow, where if all you're doing is just going into a basement, you really need something else to protect you in case that flooring gets removed off the top of you. Again, hills and valleys and all of this type of stuff, tornadoes do not go around mountains and hills. Tornadoes do not jump over hills. Guys, we should have learned this already from the Bellefonte tornado last year in May. It goes right down the up and down the dips and valleys, and that's just, I don't know why our grandparents told us that, but a lot of us still have it in our head. Oh, well, my house is between two hills, so the storms go over. No, that's been disproven so many times, so please don't believe that. Please get a weather plan in place. I hope you don't need it. And by all means, I do not. When I was with the emergency management all those years doing this, one of the things that the politicians at that time, they were very against us saying things that could scare people. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you what the aftermath was when we went to do search and rescue. And to me, too many people say, oh, I'm not scared of storms. Oh, I ain't worried about it. Oh, because where my house is at, I don't think, I don't even get me started with the stories of people that we, rescued and families that lost their lives because somebody believed that nonsense. Tomorrow potentially could be deadly with severe weather, with tornadoes on the ground, destructive large hail, straight line hurricane force winds. This is stuff that you see in Hollywood movies that you don't want to happen in reality. Let's hope it don't, and I hope it's a bust. But tomorrow, and I'm not saying specifically this county or that county, basically any part of that graphic I showed you, which is all of northwest, north central Arkansas, southwest, Keys family tipped $10. Thank you, Keys family. We appreciate that. Eastern Oklahoma, eastern Kansas, any of these areas are under the gun, and it's all going to be based on what's going to happen with these storms tomorrow. If they form, how much storm activity takes place today, through this evening, through the overnight hours, that instability. The more that we can eat up and the more we can have a little bit of rain with this type of system, the safer it's going to be for all of us. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we just get some, the normal 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind thunderstorms, barely meeting warning criteria, and it goes on throughout the evening and the overnight hours and through tomorrow, and then it just blows on out of here, and then Tuesday and Wednesday starts clearing up, and we dodged the bullet. And a lot of people get upset because we go under these watches and the SPC issues these outlooks and we put them out and they're like, well, nothing happened. Well, thank God. Thank God the capping, in St. Louis and Kentucky and all these areas a couple of days ago that got hammered, we were in that area. We were just so blessed that capping held and kept those storms smothered out where they couldn't form here. They tried. We were in here. Studio was fired up and we were watching, man. You could just see the little pixels, man. I mean, all of northwest Arkansas, north central Arkansas, southwest, south central Missouri. I mean, they were trying really, really hard. And a few storms did finally get going, and you saw some storms off in the distance, like over around, I think, Baxter County got a few, but they ended up with some considerable and destructive severe thunderstorms with some large hail and stuff. But again, that capping was strong enough, it smothered them back out really fast. So we were really blessed. So that's what's going on. Now, tomorrow and throughout the evening, I'm going to be putting these posts out. Folks, please don't send us what time, what area. I don't know. Nobody does. The National Weather Service doesn't know. If we had that type of technology where we could tell you tomorrow at 2 p.m. it's going to hit such and such location, our police departments and fire departments would go evacuate those locations. We would get people out of those areas and say, evacuate your homes, take whatever's. We don't have that technology. It doesn't exist. I don't think it will ever exist, because even with all of our satellites and weather sampling, we can see where the ingredients is at, but really Mother Nature decides when and where those storms are going to pop and how deadly they're going to be. What we do here, because now you're like, well, then why even watch you guys? Just pray and hope for the best. When we go live, our job here at Storm Track 360 is to give you real-time severe weather updates. So when we start tracking these storms in real time, we're trying to give you that 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes notice so that you can get your family and your neighbors to safety. That's what I am. That's what I did with emergency management all them years. I'm a weather specialist analyst, real-time storm tracking. Okay. My job all those years was to watch the storms and try to coordinate with public safety and back then ham radio operators and Skywarn and position people where those storms had formed so that we could get an eye on those storms to see, is it producing that hail? Are we getting those straight line winds? Is there a tornado? We want to get our eyes on it so we can let the National Weather Service know, yes, that rotation has hit the ground. We now have a tornado, or we don't. But my job is to basically put these people in positions to where they could see what was going on, but keep them as much out of harm's way as possible so that we could get that information out to you guys. Okay? Now, that tone you're hearing in the background there, that means that there is a tornado warning that just went up. Let me see. Okay, that's over in Colorado. So, that energy is going all the way back into Colorado. So we've got a tornado warning that just went up in Colorado. But at the end of the day, guys, when we're live on the air, I cannot tell you this storm in Benton County, yes, it's going to hit Bergman or Green Forest or Alpena or Mountain Home at a certain time, because we don't know how long that storm's going to stay going.
Mesoscale discussion.
That storm could go for, 20 minutes, fall apart. This other storm starts forming out of nowhere and it pulls that energy, and now you got a storm over here instead of over here. That storm that is going through Benton or Washington County may not even make it over to Boone or Newton or Baxter County. But if you turn off our severe weather coverage, you have to remember, you may have a sunshine and blue skies, and then all of a sudden that little area above you, that cap weakens, and now a storm forms, and you can go from a blue sky and sunshine to now you've got a severe storm with potentially a tornado within 10 or 15 minutes. And you've turned your back, and now all of a sudden you're looking out and going, wait a minute, boy, it got awful dark awful quick. Okay, don't worry about the storm that's in Benton County. If you're in that watch area, or you're in that area where that storms are potentially could form, that's what you need to watch for. That's what we do. That's my job. My job is to start watching on the radar screen and say, okay, we've got storm development now taking place in such and such county or such area. And then we start seeing that development, and then we're live and we're tracking it. We're watching it. And the National Weather Service is getting the warnings out, and we're letting you guys know what's going on. But so many times people jump on here for 30 seconds. They immediately say, what about Berryville? What about Green Forest? What about... Okay, stop. You got to watch our coverage because whatever's going on outside of your area may or may not affect your area later. And a storm could form immediately on top of you. But if there's nothing in Berryville or Carroll County, all I can tell you is potential is there. Hey, you're under watch. Potential. And I repeat this and a lot of the same people, it's like they think they're going to get a different answer. I cannot tell you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 hours from now what time a tornado or a storm is going to hit your house. We just don't have that technology. It does not exist. All we can do is see the ingredients are there, get that information out to you guys, tell you to be weather aware, have a way to get warnings, get alerts, and then when we start having cells develop and start tracking, tune in. Whether it's us or you say, hey, you know what? We don't like Storm Track 360. We'd rather watch Zachary Hall, or we'd rather watch Arkansas Weather Watchers, or we want to watch KY3. Hey, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're just trying to give you guys the information you need so that you know to get your family into safety. Whether you like us or you hate us or you disagree with us, my concern is please find a source that you trust and try to get the information. One of the things that we do here is we don't sugarcoat it, ever. We will never sugarcoat the severe weather here. I'm going to tell you what it's capable of and what that potential is and what it's doing in real time. And I'm always going to be honest with you guys. You'll notice we don't put out clickbait. Everything that we put out, it's primarily Storm Prediction Center information, National Weather Service backed information. Everything that we put out is backed by those higher powers that push those buttons, that issues those watches and issues those warnings. Now, once in a while, I'll jump on there and say, guys, I think we like earlier, hey, we may see an upgrade to this area. Because if we don't get a lot of storms and rain throughout the evening tonight and tomorrow, we may see an upgrade tomorrow, and it could be more dangerous. Now, just because you're in that area, does that mean that you're going to get storms? No. And that's something else I want to explain to you is how does this work? So one of the things that I really like to do when we're going over stuff, I like to try to educate you guys. So when you're looking at these graphics, when you're looking at this information, you guys can say, hey, you know what? I understand what I'm reading. Okay, so let's talk about it. So down here is your key right here. So that is your key to what's going on. So what do these colors mean? So you can see this hyphenated area here in southwest, south central Missouri, over into northwest and north central Arkansas. That yellow area, and it's you look at your key and it's 10 to 14%, and then you look at this area down here at the bottom and it says hatched area. That's all these little black hatched things you're seeing. That means that there is a significant probability of any storms that form a tornado. Those tornadoes could potentially reach the EF2 to EF5 levels. Now, what does that 10 to 14% mean? That means that there's a 10 to 14% chance within any given point within a 25-mile radius. So let's use Oklahoma, for example. So I'm going to put a dot there. So anywhere within 25 miles of that dot, there's a 10 to 14% chance of an EF2 to EF5 tornado. Okay? Over here, let's put a dot here around Harrison. Okay, that means there's a 10 to 14% chance of an EF2 to EF5 tornado within a 25-mile radius of that dot. Okay, and you'll notice that the highest that the risk level goes up is it'll go up above 60%, but when we start getting up around 15 to 29% and 30 to 45%, that is where they start issuing these moderate and high risks. okay? So that's what we're saying. Just because you're in the yellow area, that does not mean that a tornado is going to hit your area, and it doesn't mean it's not going to hit your area. That just means based on the models and the ingredients in the atmosphere, that anywhere in these areas where I'm putting a red dot, if you're in this yellow area, just put a dot anywhere in there within a 25-mile radius of anywhere where you see this yellow hyphenated. That means each of these dots within a 25-mile radius, there's a 10 to 14% chance of a tornado hitting and being of an EF2 to EF5 magnitude. And it works exactly the same way with, let's say, the hail tomorrow. So you see all this hyphenated area. It says hatched area, means significant. That means anywhere within a 25-mile radius of each one of these little dots. You know, you can put a dot anywhere. It's not the specific dots I put up. I mean, any dot. Any dot you put in this red area, there's a 30 to 44% chance of hail over 2 inches in diameter within a 25-mile radius. Okay, when you get over here in this yellow area, well, you're getting down to a lesser likability, lesser likelihood, 15 to 29%. So, hopefully that kind of helps educate you guys a little bit. When I'm live on the air and we're tracking real severe storms, it's hard for me to stop what I'm doing when I've got a tornado on the ground, let's say in Madison County, and I've got someone in Baxter County jumping on and saying, oh, what about Mountain Home? What time are, okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I can't give you a time that a storm will or will not form in Mountain Home. All I can tell you, and I say this every time during a live stream, I can only tell you, and that's not just me, it's everybody if they're being honest with you. Some of these meteorologists will jump on here and they'll be like, well, I really think that we have a higher chance over here around, this is the area I would watch. And it's based on the ingredients and it's based on their experience. And I have no idea where some of these people even come up with that stuff. I've been doing this over 6 years now. And, you really have to just watch where the storms are going to develop, track them in real time. Is this storm going to hold together? Is it going to weaken? And then we jump over here to the Mountain Home area, and there's nothing there. And right in the middle of a tornado on the ground over here that we're tracking, and we've got people potentially losing their homes and losing their lives. And somebody don't want to watch the severe weather coverage. They just want to jump on here and get a specialized forecast for themselves for the 30 seconds they're tuning in. And guys, I'm not going to do it. I've told our moderators and I've told my team, when you jump on here and you do something like that, it's inconsiderate. I mean, to me, it's no different than walking in the middle of a family dinner and just, making a scene, taking people's plates and just throwing them in the floor, knocking the table over and walking out. Okay? To me, it's no different. Don't do that. Pay attention. Watch the severe weather coverage so that we can tell you what's going on. We have multiple, you guys have seen our studio here. We got multiple screens up and going. We got multiple systems. We got multiple alert systems going on. We got a lot of information coming in. We're not going to overlook your area. We've got someone watching it. And sadly, if I don't have a whole team in here, which we try, because as you guys all know, we're volunteers, I have to focus on the most deadly storms. And I'm not going to leave a deadly storm to jump over here and start covering. Well, there's nothing in your county and there's nothing in your area. Guys, learn your county, learn your areas. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, educate yourselves. And we have tools available for you. And that's what I wanted to go over real quick right now. This is going to be our Roku channel. I built this. I updated it. I actually just finished updating a lot of it last night. You can actually go download this for free if you'll type in North Arkansas weather if you have Roku. This is what it looks like. You'll see our classic green tornado. And I call it North Arkansas weather because if I put Storm Track 360 and you put Storm Track as one word, then you're not going to see it come up. So I thought, you know what? If somebody if they just go in there and they type in Arkansas weather, you're going to get a hit on it, and hopefully you're going to recognize our green tornado and click on it, and then, of course, then you'll see the Storm Track 360 Live Arkansas weather and that information under the app. So what do you get with this app? Well, we've teamed up with a lot of the local Branson and Harrison radio stations. So you can put this on your Roku at work, at home, and you can listen to live radio. Any of the live radio stations that we have 8 local live radio stations. You guys can use our Roku app for that, have it on in the background. But during severe weather, you guys can jump over, and all this information I'm going over with these SPC outlooks, watches, storm reports, all of that information is on that app, all of it. And you can actually turn on the radar up there. And look, right now, if I can ever make sure I remember to put the hit the button to go live on our new radio system, you can hear our live stream. Like right now, if you turn on the Roku, pick any of those weather, the radars or the SPC outlooks or whatever, you're hearing me right now. Everything, all of our audio is on there. We do not have our video stream on there because that takes a whole different system, and then they charge you per person per second, and like one live stream would cost us like $10,000 or $15,000 to have it on just our personal Roku app. So you can listen to us and you can see all of the radars and all that stuff updates, and those screens will blink about every 15-20 seconds, and you're thinking, I think it's glitching. No, it's looking for fresh information. So that radar is going to be sitting there, and every once in a while you're going to see it kind of blink. That's it. Checking the National Weather Service servers, is there a new radar update? So you know, if you guys want to have that up, you can do that, or you can go to YouTube on your TVs and you can watch our live severe weather coverage. And that is a great way to keep up with what's going on. So that Roku app, jump up, turn it on, boom, 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 boom. You can jump up there and say, okay, what's the SPC outlooks right now? The mobile apps. Now, some of you do have the last version in the Android app. We pulled it back off the store. The app is being rebuilt. Now, if you already downloaded the previous app, the features are still working on it. We're just trying to add more features. Apple, we've got a new, the old app is still on, but I don't know if they've got the notification issue fixed. And then we've got a new version of the app. So Apple and Google, or Android, they have just been a nightmare to deal with. And a lot of the same information that's on this Roku TV app is going to be on that mobile app, including live radars. And of course, you'll have quick links to launch us and watch us on YouTube and stuff. So, like I said, I just wanted to cover with you guys. I know this is a lot of information. Whenever I get off of here, you guys are welcome to go back and watch it again and go, man, he covered a lot of stuff. Hopefully you guys will watch this and walk away from this with a little knowledge of again, how to read these graphics when we put them out, because, when you're looking at them, you're like, I don't really understand what I'm looking at. And then you start asking those same, I call them silly questions, because I've covered this over and over and over and over again. I cannot, no one, if they're being honest, not Ron Hurst or Brandon at KY3 or your meteorologist in Little Rock or the Storm Prediction Center, nobody can tell you an exact time or an exact location for storms. If we could, we would just evacuate those areas in advance and let the storms just have that neighborhood. We do not have that technology. We can tell you where the ingredients are and where the highest conditions are for storm development. So keep that in mind. And then when we're doing live severe weather coverage, we're tracking in real time, real storm development. I cannot tell you that a storm is going to form in Washington County at a certain time, or if there is a storm in Washington County, will that hit Harrison? I don't know. Will that storm fall apart? Will it shift? Will it, start tracking north or south instead of east? You see what I'm saying? We can only track them in real time and tell you what that storm is doing right now. Is there rotation? Is there hail? What storm reports are coming in? Storm spotter information's coming in. What's the atmosphere producing? Is it producing the large hail? Is it producing rotation? And then we can let you know where those storms are at and give you that hopefully 5, 10, 15, or 20 minutes of notice you need to seek shelter. That is the only thing that we can do. We cannot look in a crystal ball and tell you 3 hours from now it's going to hit your area. So please, if I could just get you guys to retrain your thinking on that would be great. So let's see. Let me jump over in our comments I know a lot of times when I get on these live streams, I get a lot of people, they get really agitated at my answers. Just really, really, really want to just really push that in your heads. The only safe place during severe weather is underground. Period. End of story. I don't care where you built your house. I don't care how many hills or trees or lakes or whatever's around you. The only safe place from a tornado is underground. There is nowhere in northern Arkansas, well, anywhere in the country, because, technically we can have tornadoes anywhere in the country, but Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, there is nowhere you can put your house that you can say you're 100% safe from a tornado or severe weather damage. It's just not, there's no such place. It doesn't exist. So please get the whole, tornadoes jump over hills and valleys and things. Please delete that. Reprogram yourself, guys. Let's get that out of our head. All right, let's see. I'm going to run through the chat real quick and see if there's anything here. See, we really appreciate you explaining this to us, keeping us informed. Missy Newton, yes, we appreciate you, Missy. She's always been a great supporter, and she's been with us from the beginning. Let's see. Yeah, Patricia Jones talking about she was in the Joplin tornado. I'm a professional geologist, mostly retired. I wanted to be a meteorologist, but my math background was poor. Geology is forensic meteorologist David Lumbert. Well, welcome to our Storm Track 360 family. And family members need to be honest with each other. And another thing, when you're watching us and when we're saying, hey, we're showing hell on radar, like say in Berryville, okay, it's just as important for you to jump on the chat and say, hey, Brandon, I'm in Berryville. We're not getting no hail right now. So that tells us that storm is still holding that hail up in the upper atmosphere, and it's going to keep building and maybe getting larger. So when we're seeing rotation in an area, or we're seeing potential straight line winds in an area, or we're seeing, hail in an area, it's as important for you to jump on chat and say, hey, Brandon, I live in that area. We're not getting that wind right now. Hey, that's great. It's staying in the upper atmosphere. Because all I can see is the lowest point on that radar screen, which, northern Arkansas is about 6,000 to 7,000 feet above us. I can tell you, hey, man, we got strong rotation or weak rotation right here in this area. I depend on you guys in public safety to confirm, is this at ground level? All I can do, I can tell you exactly above which county road or community that rotation or hail is, but I need you guys to be my eyes when we're putting this information out, and that's what the chat is usually for. Not the whole, hey, what time is this? Well, can you cover Little Rock? Hey, I have a cousin that went to San Diego, California. Are these storms going to hit California? We get silly stuff like that. We cover this area. I'm sorry your cousin went to California, but that's a long ways away. I don't think that the storms in Arkansas are going to get on a plane and fly out to San Diego and go after your cousin. I mean, I know some people get a little they get worked up. Maybe our brains don't quite work quite well. So that's why coming on like right now and covering some of this stuff maybe help calm you down and let you know what to expect. And what do I need from you? I mean, all of you guys are watching. You're part of our team. You're our eyes out there. You are part of our Storm Track 360 family, and you're the eyes and the ears of what's going on. We're telling you what's on the radar screen, what these storms have already produced or what they're producing now with storm reports. You guys are our eyes. So we appreciate you, and we can't do this. We're only as good as the people that watch us and the communication that you give us, if that helps any. JC Loud, I can't find a list for public storm shelters. Sadly, I've been, for our whole entire 16 county area, I've had a lot of people say that they don't know where no community shelters are. All I can tell you to do is hey, when I was younger, people knew their neighbors. You really, really, really need to reach out and talk to your neighbors, because there's a lot of neighbors, they've got a safe room basement, or they've got a storm shelter. It's super, super important. More tornado warnings going out somewhere. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Colorado. We've actually got a tornado, PDS, particularly dangerous situation, tornado. We got a tornado on the ground in Colorado on the western side of this system that's tracking towards us. So see, even now, we don't have an outbreak today, but we've got a tornado confirmed on the ground with this system on the west side of it in Colorado right now. So like I said, that's a bad sign. That's what I'm saying. The potential is going to be there. Did you say that you do not cover McDonald County, Missouri? Christine, we do not cover. Hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. Here is our coverage area. McDonald County has really good coverage from the Joplin area, Tulsa area. There are some news stations over around Fayetteville and stuff that include McDonald County because of how much coverage they get. That's why we don't cover McDonald County. Now, when we go live, any storms that's tracking either towards Benton County area or tracking towards Berry County, we will go live and track those storms to give the people in our coverage area advanced warning. But we don't specifically cover McDonald County because of all the news and radio stations that's already in that area. And the main reason we cover Benton and Washington is because we were requested to do so. And a lot of people in the Madison and Benton, or Madison and Carroll County areas, and even over here around Harrison, they go over there to shop and stuff. So they're watching us because they go over there and shop. So, and that gives advanced warning for Carroll and Madison. So McDonald County, technically, no, we don't go live specifically for McDonald County, if that answers your question, and that's why. Let's see here. Jump back up here. I just want to make sure I'm covering all of your questions real quick before we wrap up the stream. So is this for tonight? Okay, Joshua, all the information I covered, potentially we could have a lower risk of severe weather with possible tornadoes during the late evening, overnight hours tonight. The less it does tonight and in the early morning hours, the more potential danger we could have for severe weather tomorrow. So we're really hoping we do get some weather tonight and in the overnight hours. We're just hoping it's not, hopefully we don't get the tornadoes and stuff. We want to eat up as much of that energy as we can. So that's what I was covering if you didn't start at the beginning of the stream. And you can always rewatch this. This'll our YouTube. If you guys didn't know, when we go live, we're on TikTok, which you can't go back and watch live streams on TikTok. I don't know why they do that. But our YouTube, we always leave all of our videos up because we have to keep our hours up so that we can live stream on them. So as soon as I finish a stream, I'll just put live stream ended. But you can go back on YouTube, on your TV, and go back and watch this over and over and over again. It'll be there for... I don't know how long we keep them. I'm going to do some research. We may, after they're 6 months old or something, we may start shaving and pulling some of the older ones off. But we do flag them as stream has ended. And we live stream on Facebook, Rumble. You can get the free Rumble app on your phone and on your Roku TVs. I think Rumble's on a lot of smart TVs, YouTube especially. If you have a smart TV, man, open up your smart TV YouTube app, type in Storm Track 360, and hit favorite. Man, you can sit there and watch us on your TV. It's free. We don't charge anything. Everything that we do is paid for by the few business sponsors that we have that are fantastic. You can see them over here on the screen to the right of my head here. You can see the individuals who donate. And like I said, guys, it's amazing just when we get several people at $5 a month or $10 a month, they help cover the cost of all this stuff. That's how we're able to do this and keep it free, so we don't have to charge a subscription. Hey, you want our coverage? In order to make this work, we got to charge everybody 99 cents or $1.99 or $4.99. We don't do that because of all the donations we get. So that's what we are able to operate off of. So thank you to all those people who do that. Let's see. Okay, I covered that question. What you're showing is for tonight. Okay, I already answered that. Got a lot of people watching. Candy Shote, Elizabeth Wilcox, happy to see you're watching. Just getting some people talking about some of the rain and some of the stuff they're getting right now. Let's see. Destiny Biddle, Chelsea, Oklahoma. Yeah, sadly, we don't cover Oklahoma, though. I'm seeing the alerts here about that tornado over in Colorado. Let's see. Sadly, my home is my storm shelter. I think we may dig a hole and put a septic tank in. Well, there are a lot of storm shelters out there that you can get. Like the one we have is through Cozy Cavern storm shelters. The smaller ones, based on what steel prices are and stuff. I think we paid $3,900 for ours, and that was installed. Of course, I don't know what the prices are now. That's one of our sponsors, by the way, and they're custom built here in Arkansas, and the price of them is based on how big they are. So Cozy Cavern storm shelters, those are really good ones. What is really going on? Is there a tornado? Okay, I have no idea what that means. What is really going on? Of course, while I'm sleeping, never fails. Can you sew the radar for tonight? I already did. I went over the models, but you got to understand, whatever I show you right now, an hour from now, it may not be valid. And you guys may, notice that they've really done a horrible job, the models have lately, on the timing and stuff. So it doesn't do no good to show tonight, because I can show you right now the models again, and the timing may be off 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. It may say, yes, there's going to be storms at 10 o'clock tonight, and then in another hour say, no, it's going to be 3 a.m. Okay, no, there's not going to be any storms at all tonight. So that's what I'm telling you guys. The potential is there. I hope we get some storms through the night, just not severe to saturate the atmosphere. So that's not going to do no good. Let's see. I'm just talking to myself in a live stream. Weird. I don't know what that means. Let's see. We have an old storm shelter, but it doesn't have a door anymore. Is it still safe? Not really. You need that door, because if a tornado hits, that debris and that wind could be slamming debris into that, so you need to try to come up with some type of door to put on that shelter. I'm sure you can get a hold of a carpenter or someone, and they could get that going for you. Let's see. I'm in the same boat. Don't have the outer door, but the inner door. You just need some kind of door on there, and if you got something heavy or some kind of deadbolt system, the main thing is that you're already down low. You got that going for you, but it's the debris that could be, being slung at 100 to 200 miles per hour. You got to imagine. I mean, a piece of concrete the size of a quarter getting slung at you at 200 miles per hour, and you've got, hundreds of pieces of them. That's why you need that door. Let's see. Let me go over here to TikTok. Jay, we broadcast live from Harrison, Arkansas, just south of Branson here. The Jamba Juice logo, I don't know what that is. So you totally get that. Hubby and I are spotters out of Cleveland County. We get people like that too. Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, I've went through all of the information here that you guys have thrown at us. Mine's a cave. A solid cave is safe. If you guys have a really nice, cave that you can go into and it's got a big room, as long as it isn't one that floods and fills it with water during flooding, caves are actually pretty safe. It's no different than a storm shelter. They're underground. Just as long as you don't have a cave that, was potentially, a violent tornado's on the ground above and the ground's shaking, just make sure you're not in something that could potentially cave in. But anything underground, there is, I really don't know what to tell you guys. I reached out to a lot of churches, I'll be honest with you, over the last several months, because people are saying, hey, where's a shelter? And used to, when I was younger, a lot of the churches in the communities, they would open up, the ones that had basements and safe rooms and stuff, they would open up to their community, whether you went there or not. And they took care of the people in their community by saying, hey guys, if you live in a trailer or if you live in a house that doesn't have a shelter, we're going to open up the church because we at least have a basement. Okay. And you know, from mid, like EF2 down to an EF0, basements are great. The only time that they can potentially not be safe is when we get these violent high EF3 to EF5 tornadoes, and then you still need to have a room, some kind of a safe area, large heavy table even in your basement, says if that roof gets ripped off the top of you and all that debris is getting lunged, you still got to have some protection there. So, a safe room in a basement, is perfect, but a lot of these older basements, they don't have the safe room. So, yeah, I get it. And that's why we try to give you notice in advance. And like I said, if you see a house near you that has a basement, or you see a neighbor nearby with a storm shelter, hey, make some cookies. Go over and knock on the door, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm your neighbor. I know you don't know me, but I'm such and such, and we've lived in the neighborhood X amount of time, and I'm, my family and I, we don't have a basement or a storm shelter, and I noticed that you did, and I would just really like to get to know my neighbors and see if there's any way that you guys would open up your basement to us in the event of a severe weather. And I know today's time, it seems weird because everybody just, they're friends on Facebook or they're friends on TikTok. A lot of people don't even know their neighbor 2 houses up. Used to, that wasn't the case. Well, situations like this is why I think that it was safer 20, 30 years ago, because people knew their neighbors, and their neighbors were like, hey, yeah, it's going to be stormy tonight. Why don't we just, all get together? We'll have a little cookout and hang out and kind of ride the storms out together as neighbors, because we got a basement and you don't. Let's just make sure everybody's safe. I know it would be awkward, but that's my biggest recommendation, because like I said, most churches, I don't know why, they were all about community, and now they just don't open up anymore. And if you know a church or you attend a church that has a safe basement area for severe weather, maybe talk to your church and say, hey, why do we no longer open up and try to give a safe haven to our community? Most all churches years ago, a lot of the members and non-members would go to their local churches if they had a basement, and that was their safe place. But a lot of churches don't do it no more. And I understand now you got to say a church in Carroll County, but the pastor lives in Mountain Home and he drives 2 or 3 counties to come and preach on Wednesdays and Sundays and stuff. And used to, I guess the preachers kind of lived either right there by or pretty close to the church. I wish more churches would reanalyze that community offer to the public in their communities. If you have a basement, I hope you guys will reconsider or look at the way things used to be done, and you guys will consider opening your churches up if you have a basement and helping protect your community. I mean, that used to be a thing, and now it's not. I don't know why, but maybe it's something we can get brought back to help serve and protect our community. See, I'll have a room tonight for several if need in my shelter. I'm on Silver Valley Road in Harrison. Add me and message me if you need. Leilani Moore. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but see, just by simply this person watching this person watched this live stream and said, hey, I've got a basement. I've got. So if you live on Silver Valley Road, send this person a friend request. They just literally said, if you need a place to go, hey, I want to be, we're neighbors. Hey, let's reach out to me. Let's get to know each other, and I can invite you guys to come by and hang out if the storms get bad. We just need more of that. We really, really do. I guess that's it. I think I've covered everything. Watch the graphics. I'm updating those graphics. And another thing is on Facebook, we do not reissue the same updates all the time. So if the graphics get updated, I'm just going to go take that post I'm going to pull all those graphics off of it because you guys have already shared it. And
severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, we got a severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll cover that here. We'll take a look at it here just momentarily. But anyway, those graphics, when we get those graphics, I just update the graphics, and I'll put a little comment in the post itself and say, graphics updated on such and such date at such and such time. Because otherwise, every time the SPC does an update, which could be every 2 or 3 hours, we would literally have the same post out there floating around, multiple versions of it, and it would get very confusing. And a lot of pages do that. We don't do that here. I constantly update those posts. When I put a post out with this information, and then when we're finally done with that post, you can go look. I'll put expired information.
Special weather statement.
That means don't look at this post anymore. It's old, or we're going to go ahead and be looking at putting new stuff up. You can hear all these alerts going off in the background. I think that's still, Colorado. So they're already getting some tornadoes out that way. Let me jump over here to our Radar Omega system. You can see we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings popping up. You can see this storm here just west of Gravette and Sulphur Springs. It's right on the Arkansas and Oklahoma line. Tracking looks like it's kind of drifting to the east and northeast here. It looks like right now just 1 inch hail and 50 mile per hour wind. So that 1 inch hail is what has triggered that warning. Let me see if I can pull this up here on our GR2 system. We'll see where the hail is at. So it's not just super impressive. We'll jump over to our tornado track, hail track, wind track, GR2 system here, and you can see that right up here in northwest Benton County, you can see this is our maximum expected hail size. It's pretty small, but they did have an upgraded severe thunderstorm warning here in Oklahoma a little bit ago. That was for 1.75 inch hail, and that has now been downgraded back to a regular. Okay, no, they still have the considerable threat on it, I believe. Let me check the latest update here. Golf ball size hail. So I believe the reason Benton County is under this warning is going to be because of this potential hail out here in Oklahoma that's tracking towards Benton County. So again, some of the storms today, and if they start getting, we start getting some organized severe weather going, we'll get on here and go live and start giving you guys some updates. Right now, some of these storms are barely meeting some criteria, but like I said, you're going to get some random thunderstorm warnings going up with some hail going out. So have a way to get alerts. Be ready for tomorrow and late tonight. We put a lot of information out on our Storm Track 360 Facebook page. Guys, go back and look at those posts. If they don't say expired information, that means it's something that still, I'd like for you to take a look at. It could be information about, hey, how to watch us on YouTube, how to watch us on your big screen TV. It could be about a Roku app. It could be about, we put a lot of information out, and I know a lot of times people don't read it. They go, oh, I'm not, and then you're missing out. And then when we go live, you're asking some of the questions we've already answered. I've already had a few people on here already that, obviously not paying attention to what I'm saying, or they came in late and asking us to go back and basically talk about the thing we've already covered. So I'm going to wrap up this stream, guys. You guys can go back and watch this in the beginning where we are covering the models and the potential and what could make tomorrow really dangerous or could make it a lower risk. We covered all that information. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to our Radar Omega here real quick and just kind of show you guys what everything looks like. Right now, no watches. We have several special weather statements. We've got a few out here in Newton County and in Madison County. These storms, like over here around Jasper and Harrison, looks like, let's see what they're saying about them. Small hail, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind. So I think we're primarily having a hail threat right now with these. We did have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Oklahoma, tracking towards Benton County. We do have these cells are starting to saturate more, so we're going to start getting some heavy downpours, probably some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, and we're going to start getting some random hail out of these. But tomorrow is definitely going to be a day where we could have the destructive hail. We're talking baseball size or larger. We're talking hurricane force straight line winds and potentially large dangerous tornadoes.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
All right, and that severe thunderstorm warning is going to be for southwest Missouri. And again, I think we're barely meeting criteria. Yeah. So, like, for example, the McDonald County severe thunderstorm warning, that's 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. That is literally the bare minimum that you need. I think it's 58, 59 mile per hour winds and like 1 inch hail to get that severe thunderstorm warning. So right now the storms are just barely meeting that warning criteria. Still pay attention. Make sure that you're not outdoors, or if you're gonna drive to Walmart or something, wait till the storm passes. Or if you're at Walmart, wait till the storm passes before you try to get out, because driving in hail and torrential downpours can definitely be dangerous. So I guess that will be it. Checking the messages on here. Are the storm pods any good? I have no idea, Timothy. I am a huge fan of the Cozy Cavern storm shelters. There are so many above ground shelters that are out there. I don't recommend them myself. I wouldn't buy one. I would not recommend them to my family. Building a home and having a safe room put in, I'm not a fan of them, because if it can pick up a railroad car and throw it, if it's tearing your house apart and you've just got some bolts and got this thing anchored into the concrete, but it's trying to stay intact, I'd rather be underground. And like I said, for what you're going to spend on one of those storm pods, you can get a Cozy Cavern storm shelter for probably the same price or cheaper, depending on, just do your research, guys. I mean, I have my opinion, but, I spent over 30 years going and doing search and rescue and going to disaster scenes, looking for survivors, digging through, I've seen what storms can do. I don't want to be above ground. I don't want to be in something hoping that those bolts are going to hold. I'd rather be underground where it's safe. All right, guys, that's it for me. We got the studio up and going. We're going to have it up and going. I've got my team on standby I know at least Sean will be in here with me. Tanner's on vacation down in Florida, so I hope he and his family's having fun. I think they're going to Walt Disney. So, never been. It was on my bucket list. So, I hope that Tanner is having a good time. So he's going to be out of pocket, unavailable for our live streams, at least today and tomorrow. So, guys, that's it for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to cover. I don't believe so. I'm going to throw up a break here for you guys that will show the Cozy Cavern storm shelters. As a way to thank our sponsors. Should have worked in a couple of breaks during this, but I just really wanted to, sometimes when I go to break, people turn us off and they miss a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to throw a break up and we're going to wrap it up here. We are on standby. If any of these storms get severe later this evening through the overnight hours, we will go live to keep you guys ahead of the storms.
Life insurance that can actually save you and your family's life. What a wonderful concept. Cozy Cavern storm shelters do that. Your insurance will replace most of your losses. Protect what can't be replaced. Your family. Custom built here in Arkansas. The ultimate in severe weather protection. Proven lifesavers.
StormTrack 360 would like to thank the following for your support.
At Bar L Excavation, we see our clients as more than another project. We see people with plans and dreams that are ready to be made into a reality. We are equipped with a full fleet of machinery and the knowledge and experience to effectively and efficiently complete a large variety of projects, serving Harrison, Arkansas and surrounding areas. Give Bar L Excavation a call today at 417-337-2228.
Nate Wilson is committed to guiding clients through every step of their real estate transactions. Specializing in buying and selling homes, farms, commercial property, and investment property throughout Northwest Arkansas, Nate genuinely enjoys serving this vibrant community. Whether you're curious about your home's value or ready to start your next real estate journey, Nate is here to assist. Give Nate a call today.
DJ Duo, hold please. DJ Duo, hold please. DJ Duo, hold please.
Hey TKO, I just got back from doing a fun party. What's going on here?
Man, we're getting phone calls like crazy.
Well, you know why, right?
Of course I know why. They love us because we are the fun DJs.
And they love what we do because we love what we do.
We play at weddings, receptions, proms, reunions, holidays, and special events.
DJ Duo, the fun DJs.
You can give us a call at 741-5008.
Hey, I see you got some more calls.
DJ Duo, pizza? We don't do pizza.
Automedics Pro, serving the Harrison, Arkansas area for over 17 years. Call Mike or Will and schedule your appointment today at 870-743-4907. A healthy car is a happy car. Excavation, septics, water lines, storm cleanup, demolition, land clearing. Serving North Arkansas and Southern Missouri. Give Bates Land Works a call today. 870-365-6227.
Your live and up-to-the-minute severe weather coverage for the Arkansas and Missouri Ozarks.